that all your dreams can come true, no matter the seeming limitation, and that a young monk from India, traveling to America in 1920 with just a few dollars in his pocket, will go on to revolutionize Western spirituality forever. Paramahansa Yogananda didn't just write one of the most influential spiritual books of all time, Autobiography of a Yogi. He lived a life that proved the extraordinary potential hidden within each of us. Today, we're diving into 10 profound truths from Yogananda Ji's teachings that can literally transform your life. Whether you're spiritual, skeptical, or just searching for something more, these insights might just blow your mind. Let's get into it. Truth 1. You are not your body. You are infinite consciousness. Yogananda Ji opens our eyes to the most liberating truth. You are not this temporary flesh suit. In Autobiography of a Yogi, he writes about experiencing his own cosmic consciousness, where he felt his body as a small bubble floating in an ocean of spirit. Think about it. Your cells completely regenerate every 7 years. The you of 5 years ago is literally not the same physical you. So who are you really? Yogananda Ji teaches us that you are the eternal soul, a drop of divinity experiencing temporary human existence. Your essence is pure consciousness, unbound and immortal. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical. When you identify less with your body and more with your true self, anxiety about aging, death, and physical limitations begin to dissolve. You tap into something much bigger. Here's where Yogananda Ji gets scientific. He didn't see spirituality and science as opposites. He saw them as complementary paths to the same truth. In his autobiography, he describes meeting scientists, discussing Einstein's theories, and demonstrating that the universe operates on precise spiritual mathematics. Every action has a reaction. Every thought creates an energy pattern. Nothing is random. Yogananda Ji calls this the law of karma. Not as punishment, but as perfect cosmic justice. You're not a victim of random circumstances. You are co-creator of your reality through your thoughts, intentions, and actions. The empowering part, once you understand the laws, you can work with them. Just like learning physics lets you build bridges, learning spiritual laws lets you architect your destiny. Truth 3. Meditation is the science of God realization. Yogananda Ji didn't say believe in God and hope for the best. He said, here's the exact technique to experience the divine directly. That technique is Kriya Yoga, which he brought to the world. In his autobiography, he describes how his guru, Sri Yukteswar, taught him that meditation isn't about emptying your mind or achieving some blissed out state. It's a systematic method for expanding your consciousness. He compared it to a phone line to God. Prayer is you talking, meditation is you listening. And when you really listen with a still mind, the divine responds. Not with words necessarily, but with peace, bliss, and a knowing that surpasses anything the material world can offer. The best part, you don't need to be a monk in a cave. Yogananda Ji taught householders, business people, and regular folks that 15 to 30 minutes of daily meditation could revolutionize their lives. Truth 4. Your guru appears when you're ready. One of the most mystical aspects of Yogananda Ji's autobiography is how he describes the guru-disciple relationship. His search for his guru, Sri Yukteswar, reads like a spiritual thriller, following inner visions, synchronicities, and a pull he couldn't explain. Here's the truth. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Not always in physical form, sometimes through books, experiences, or inner guidance. Yogananda Ji himself became a guru to millions who never met him in person but whose lives were transformed by his teachings and the words of his legendary book, Autobiography of a Yogi, which many have been quoted as saying is a deeply transformational read. But here's what's radical. Yogananda Ji taught that the ultimate guru is the divine itself, speaking through your own intuition. External teachers point the way, but the real journey is always inward. You already have access to infinite wisdom. You just need to quiet down enough to hear it. Truth 5. Miracles are natural laws of a higher order. The autobiography is packed with stories that seem impossible. Materialization, levitation, resurrection, and the healings that defy medical explanation. Yoganandaji's own guru could control his heartbeat, stop his breath, and enter states of suspended animation. Before you dismiss this as fantasy, consider that Yoganandaji says, these aren't violations of natural law, they are demonstrations of higher natural laws that most people haven't even learned yet. A caveman would call electricity a miracle. A medieval person would call a smartphone magic. Yoganandaji taught that consciousness is more fundamental than matter. When you develop sufficient concentration and will, you can influence the material world directly through thought, not with some vague law of attraction, wishful thinking, but through systematic development of mental powers. This is why he emphasized concentration exercises. Your mind is the most powerful instrument in creation. You've just never been taught how to use it properly. Truth 6. Death is just a costume change. Perhaps no truth is more comforting than Yoganandaji's teachings on death. In one of the most moving passages of his autobiography, he describes his own mother's death and how she later appeared to him, radiant and free, letting him know she was more alive than ever. Yoganandaji taught that what we call death is simply the soul stepping out of one costume into another, or into the freedom of the astral plane. You've already done this countless times in past lives. You'll do it again. It's as natural as taking off your clothes before bed. The body dies, but you, the real you, cannot die. You are eternal consciousness having a temporary human experience. Understanding this helps you live more fully, knowing that this particular lifetime is precious, but it's not your only shot at existence. Truth 7. All religions are paths up the same mountain. In a world increasingly divided by religious conflict, Yoganandaji's message feels revolutionary. All true religions lead to the same divine goal. He didn't say all religions are the same. They have different languages, symbols, and methods, but their essence is identical. He personally showed reverence for Jesus Christ, Krishna, Buddha, and the saints from all traditions. In his autobiography, he describes visiting Christian monasteries, Muslim mosques, and temples of every faith, finding the same divine presence everywhere. The truth he revealed? Dogma divides, but direct experience unites. When you actually meditate deeply, actually connect with the divine, you realize there's only one God wearing different cultural costumes. The mystics of all traditions have always known this. This doesn't mean all beliefs are equally valid or that distinctions don't matter. It means the core experience of divine love and truth transcends any single tradition. You can be a devoted Christian, Hindu, or Buddhist and still recognize the universal truth Yoganandaji taught. Truth 8. You have unlimited willpower. You've just never used it. Yoganandaji was obsessed with the power of will, not stubborn determination of forcing things, but aligned, focused, spiritual will that can move mountains. In his autobiography, he describes how his guru Sri Yukteswar would give him seemingly impossible tasks to develop his will. The lesson: your limitations are mostly mental. What you believe you can or cannot do largely determines what becomes possible. But here's the key. Willpower isn't just about gritting your teeth and forcing yourself. It's about aligning your personal will with divine will, tapping into infinite energy. When you're flowing with your true purpose, you find reserves of strength you never knew existed. Yoganandaji taught specific concentration techniques to develop will. He said that a calm, concentrated person can accomplish in hours what takes scattered people days or weeks. Your mind, when focused like a laser, becomes an unstoppable creative force. Truth 9. The material world is a cosmic movie, and you're both the audience and actor. Here's where Yoganandaji gets really real. He taught us that the entire material universe is Maya, cosmic delusion, a divine dream projection. Not that it's fake or doesn't matter, but that it's not the ultimate reality. He compared it to a movie. When you're absorbed in a film, you cry, laugh, feel fear, your body reacts as if it's real. But step back and you remember, it's light on a screen. The physical universe is consciousness projected outward, appearing solid, but fundamentally made of vibration and light. This doesn't mean life is meaningless. It means you can engage fully with the drama of existence while maintaining that inner observer that knows this too shall pass. You can experience emotions without being destroyed by them. You can pursue goals without being attached to the outcomes. The spiritual game is to remain conscious that you're playing a role while playing it beautifully. To be in the world, but not of it. Truth 10. Self-realization is your only true purpose. After all the miracles, all the profound teachings, all the mystical experiences, Yogananda ji boils life down to one essential purpose: self-realization. Knowing yourself as you truly are. Infinite, eternal, one with the divine. He didn't say ignore your career, relationships, or earthly responsibilities. He said see them in proper perspective. You're here to awaken. Everything else is secondary. Relationships, achievements, possessions, they can all be beautiful expressions of your journey, but they are not the destination. In the final pages of Autobiography of a Yogi, you feel this urgency. Don't waste this precious human birth on trivialities. You have the capacity to know the higher directly, to experience infinite bliss, to transcend all suffering. Why settle for temporary pleasures when infinite joy is available? And here's the beautiful paradox. When you make self-realization your priority, everything else in your life improves. You become more effective, more loving, more creative, because you're drawing from the infinite source rather than your limited ego. Paramahansa Yogananda left his body in 1952, but his influence continues to grow. His autobiography has sold millions of copies, been translated into dozens of languages, and transformed countless lives, including Steve Jobs, George Harrison, and millions of seekers around the world. Until next time, remember, you're not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. Act accordingly. What I share with you today is just the tip of the iceberg. These 10 truths, they're scattered throughout one of the most extraordinary books ever written, Autobiography of a Yogi. These aren't parables or myths. Yogananda ji lived his life. In fact, even after his passing in 1952, his body showed no signs of physical decay for 20 days, with the Forest Lawn Memorial Park mortuary director stating this was an unparalleled case in their experience, a phenomenon that captivated even the skeptical Western world. Reading this book does something to you. It expands what you believe is possible. It awakens something dormant in your soul. It answers questions you didn't even know you had. People often say they can't put it down, or that they read it multiple times and discover new layers each time. Click the link in the description, get your copy. And hey, after you read it, come back to this video and leave a comment about which part blew your mind the most. I want to hear your journey.